ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. If you're like, Kendahl, am I hearing this all correctly? This sounds too good to be true. Yes, it's true. And it is too good to be true, but it still is true. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition under the sun, okay? Any condition you're searching for, ZocDoc will have a doctor that treats it. Go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC. ZocDoc.com/BCC.
Welcome to The Chain. This is the BCC Club. We are your hosts, Kendahl Landreth.
And I'm Sarah Schauer, and each week we talk about a weird part of the internet. And what are we talking about this week, Kendahl?
We're talking about, because we're gay.
We are?
Are you? I realize I never asked.
I'm on the fence.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get a new podcast co-host. We're talking about queerbaiting.
Mm-hmm.
A very controversial topic.
I think so, yeah. For straight people.
For straight people. Well, but even there's some people in the LGBT community who disagree on who's queerbaiting, who's not queerbaiting, what's queerbaiting,
yeah,
what's considered not queer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think straight baiting is a fun thing to do. So, because it's whenever we're gay, so we pretend to have husbands online.
I pretend to have husbands all the time.
I know, and so whenever
one husband, I don't pretend to have a bunch of husbands.
I pretend, but no, I'll do a character that has a husband, and everyone's like, "Wait a second, but you're a lesbian,"
yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah." This also, I literally said that I was gonna climb a bus naked. This all is a joke. It's not just the husband part.
But also if I'm in an Uber and they're like, "Do you have a husband?" I'm always like, "Yep, and 2 kids."
You should be like, "I had a husband," and then just stare out the window.
That would be fun. But before we get into that, how was your week?
My week was... What did I do?
Wait, you were about to tell me something before we started rolling.
What was I about to tell you?
You were like, "Oh, I gotta tell you this," and then you said, "Well, let's wait till the podcast is rolling."
What was I going to tell you?
I was talking about how I just got the flu vaccine.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying, you accidentally got vaccinated for the flu twice. And
I think, okay, this morning I went and got the flu shot and the COVID booster.
Yeah.
I was about to go out of town. And I as the guy was injecting me with the flu shot, I had this flashback to 4 weeks ago when I'm almost positive I got the flu shot.
Yeah.
And then I called right after I called my doctor and I was like, "Did I get the flu shot a couple weeks ago?" And they were like, "No." Well, this is why I was like, "Okay, you're wrong." They said, "No, you haven't had the flu shot since 2021, which is not true." So I was like, "Okay, so who is this?" Because I clearly have gotten the flu shot since 2021. So I am 90% positive I got the flu shot again.
Yeah.
So then I was researching what happens when you get 2 flu shots. I don't know. Everywhere seemed like it was not a big deal. It was kind of just why would you?
Aren't you lupus makes you immunocompromised, right?
Yes.
So then you just injected yourself with the flu again.
So my body's
your body's like, "What the
SOS, please someone help me."
What did I do? But I was just told Kendahl, all my medications I've ever gotten are right next to my bed. So when I wake up in the morning, I love to set an early alarm to take my Vyvanse. Yeah. And then my second alarm in an hour wakes me up and I'm freshly Vyvanse.
Yeah.
But I have every medication. So one time when I was super groggy, I took an antibiotic.
Oh, yeah.
And I was and then when I realized what I did, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't become resistant."
Yeah.
So for the entire week, I just took antibiotics for no reason.
Wow.
Just because I was I can't fuck this up for myself.
Wellness.
Yeah.
Health and wellness.
My pH is incredibly out of whack. But what was I going to talk about?
I don't remember.
Because I was going to say something to you.
I know. Nothing crazy happened to you?
God. No, but I was also going to say, it is weird that they don't have in your charts that you got vaccinated for the flu.
I know. Well, I was okay, I was in a rush.
Yeah.
So she was like, "You haven't gotten the flu vaccine since 2021. And I was like, "I don't have time to talk to you about this now, but I do need to call you back and talk to you about that because that's not true." But I got my, but maybe it was another vaccine. What other vaccine would it have been? I don't know. I I swear I got the flu vaccine a couple weeks ago, and I totally forgot. I don't know. I'm really nervous but if I get sick again, because I just got over the flu, we had to cancel recording 2 weeks ago because I had the flu. So if I get the flu again just because I voluntarily got another flu vaccine,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna lose my mind. But
yeah, this is what I was gonna tell you.
Comes.
Last night, I put on a foot mask, and I was like, my feet'll shed in like 3 days. It's gonna shed in a week, and I got like slingy, like strappy shoes for my brother's wedding. So my feet skin
Your
is
fins?
just my fins. I'm so tired. My feet skin is gonna come off.
Yeah, those masks are every time I've done those masks because I have like some dermatillomania. Do you know what that is?
Trichotillomania or dermatillomania?
I have trichotillomania. And I have some dermatillomania as well.
I just have mania.
No, I have severe trichotillomania, which is like where you rip out your hair. Not in like a scary way, but just like,
in a normal way.
In a really cute and quirky way.
Yeah.
No, but I also have dermatillomania. It's actually, I was talking to my therapist about it because a lot of times people are like, oh, it's from stress. It's from like, it's like a self-soothing thing. And like, I was always like, that doesn't feel right to me. I feel like I do it when I'm relaxing a little bit almost. But apparently it's like an ADHD thing where you like, you're constantly seeking dopamine.
Yeah.
And so you'll like have trichotillomania, have dermatillomania, have all a lot of mania going on. But I used to do those foot masks a lot because I thought it would be really satisfying when all my skin fell off. This is disgusting. I'm literally so sorry.
No, it's okay.
But every time I've done them, I've been like, this is terrible. This is literally terrible because the way it comes off is so intense that you just have to like hide your feet and because I always would do them in the summer too because I'd be like, I want my feet to be like
super smooth
for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And then I would have to like hide them in wool socks covered in Vaseline. And it's just like deeply upsetting. It's really gross. And then it's like all around like.
That's a sensory nightmare.
It is. And then it's like also like all like you just are finding dead skin around your apartment for years.
Damn. Oh, also I was going to say, you were talking, so since they didn't chart that you were vaccinated by the flu, sorry. I'm very tired. I have my pharmacist, not therapist, psychiatrist, everyone's great. My pharmacist who I couldn't choose, I was like getting medication for my carpal tunnel and he's like, how'd you get here? And I was like I drove and he's like, but your eyes. And I was like, are you talking about cataracts? You as a pharmacist confuse carpal tunnel and cataracts? And so that's the guy who's giving me my meds.
He probably is the one who gave me my flu vaccine and didn't remember.
No, seriously.
That he did it. You know what is, carpal tunnel is from a lot of moving around.
Mm-hmm. Being gay.
And being gay.
Yeah.
You know who moves around and might be gay? Who's been accused of queerbaiting?
Who?
As I saw in our research. Harry Styles.
Yeah, he has. And ladies, please calm down. We're not attacking him personally.
Well,
we're just insulting his character.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay. What is queerbaiting, Sarah?
The term queerbaiting was once mainly used to refer to fictional characters and applied to films, TV shows, and other media that led audiences to believe someone was queer. So in the context of film and TV, it's used to describe the actions of a writer, director, or producer, and those in entertainment marketing who give a character or storyline traits that appear to be promising of queer interactions with no payoff. So you don't get to watch anyone bust a nut. Today, it's increasingly being used to refer to real people, mostly celebrities, who look or act queer without explicitly coming out as queer. Sure. And so Harry Styles, I guess, because the way he dresses, my computer's about to shut off. This is so
Isn't
annoying.
it plugged in?
Yes, it is. No, it's just old.
I don't think it's about, okay, look, we're not even at the Harry Styles portion yet, but I've got to jump in.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about how he dresses. To me,
it's because he makes out with dudes.
I don't know much about Harry Styles. I'm not a huge Harry Styles fan. I like Harry Styles. I like his music. I'm not like anti Harry Styles, but I'm not like a huge Harry Styles fan. I didn't see him in concert or anything. But him?
Yes.
Okay, just making. I don't want to do a full podcast. I have to edit fully everything I've said about him out. What was I gonna say? Oh, I don't think it's how he dresses. Because to me, I'm like, I guess it's just my opinion, but I'm like, wear whatever you want. That has nothing to do with being queer. I mean, okay, this is a whole. Let me word this correctly. I think like I understand if you're not gay, but you want to wear a dress.
You want to wear sequins, yeah.
That's great. Like to me, I'm like, that's not queerbaiting. But I've seen a couple things where people are like, are you gay? And he's like, what is gay?
Yeah.
Who's gay? Maybe I am. who knows?
That's
and
the
I'm like,
straightest answer ever.
yes, I'm like, so just. To me, that's what's queerbaiting about it. Because I saw to me, it's not about what he wears.
Yeah.
It's about like being like, I don't know, it's like wanting us to still keep this like
Yeah.
hope alive. Not me, I have no hope. I don't think I'm gonna date Harry Styles.
It's like the Olympic flame. You like
feels
carry it from like city to city. Yeah.
It just feels like he's wanting to like keep it. Oh well, I don't want to say I'm straight.
Yeah.
And once again, it's all an assumption. I don't know what is going on in his personal life, but it's like he continues to date women, and then he'll be like, but who knows what I'm doing behind closed doors? And
Yeah.
it's like, I think I might know. I think
Yeah.
it's just dating more women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't.
And everything's an assumption.
Yeah.
But so with other people, like I've heard, like I know like Emma Stone one time, a lot of times actually played a lesbian in a movie. And
Yeah.
people were like, well, you're not a lesbian. And she was like, well, I don't think she commented on it. But I'm like, I feel like Emma Stone is more private. Well, she's married to a man.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, I mean, maybe I don't know what Emma Stone does in her private life. But it's like, people like Harry Styles or Taylor Swift, it's like, well, every day we're hearing about your dating life.
Yeah.
So we're fully watching. So when you're like, we don't know, I'm like, I think we actually might. Is this gaslighting? I can't tell. I think it might be.
Yeah. No, yeah. I could see Emma Stone topping someone, honestly.
Did you watch The Favorite?
No.
I saw The Favorite in New York City.
Is that the lesbian movie?
Yeah, it's like a period piece. And I saw it in New York years ago, and I was in the Union Square Theater, AMC. Regal knows Regal. It doesn't matter.
Dude, you could lie to me.
Nobody cares. Literally not a single person cares. And I was the only one in the theater. And it was like it was a lot for me. It was very, it felt very sexual. It felt like it was just me and Emma Stone and whoever else was in that movie.
What did Emma Stone do that was gay?
Have gay sex.
Then that would be very sexual.
It just felt crazy. I was alone. It felt like a private showing.
Oh my God, wait, I want to tell you this. You know Kara Connors?
Yeah.
So I had her on Block
love
Party.
Kara Connors.
She said that she loves you too.
Oh.
But we were having we were talking about like body count, I guess. Ew. But like gay body count. Ew. Oh God. So I was like, how
It's
many?
so funny to say gay body count.
I
It's
know.
just the same thing.
But it sounds like misogyny. No, because she was straight before, as was I.
Right.
But like,
and then you made a decision.
yeah, and then
be
we
gay
like
for
flipped the
attention.
switch. Yeah.
Got
no,
it.
for attention. Yes. No. Okay. So and she was like, how many women have you hooked up with? And I asked her the same, and then we were like, what is sex? And so you know what I mean?
Yes, but because you're like, right, because what we identify, because I'll hear people like straight people be like, well,
Yeah.
I've only had sex with one person. I mean, I've done everything else with 300 other people. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, your everything else is the only thing I've done.
So,
I'm
yeah.
a virgin?
Yeah.
Because there will be Christians who are like, I'm waiting till marriage, but I give my husband a blowjob every night. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah. Like if I gave someone head, that would be sex to me.
Yeah. And I just, right, exactly. So it's like, what is
And
that?
you just wait. What were you gonna say?
Then I decided not to.
And I'm just there. Just.
I was gonna say something that I'm not gonna say.
Wait, what?
It's just it's too personal.
Oh, do you want to hear my impression of opening a butthole?
No. Okay.
Hannah, are you laughing? Okay, good. Sorry. So,
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's Kendahl. I am here to tell you that once again, we are sponsored by one of my favorite friends on earth. Yeah, that's right. I said a friend. ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a friend to me. They're always there for me. They're reliable and they never go anywhere. And even if it is 2 a.m., I can call them or log on to the app and say, hello, ZocDoc, get me a doctor's appointment. My foot hurts. And they'll do it. There are so many problems that your body can have. It's truly disturbing. Every single day, I feel like I find a new thing that could be wrong with my body. And it is so nice to have ZocDoc who can help me find a doctor specifically for that thing. On ZocDoc, there are thousands, that's right, thousands of top-rated doctors. They're all listed with verified patient reviews, so you can find and book a doctor who not only has years of experience and an actual medical degree, but also just gets you. Okay, ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. I love ZocDoc because I can book online. I can book without having to call someone. I don't like talking on the phone. Please text me. If you have my cell phone number, text me. I don't want to get a call. I don't have time to talk on the phone. Please text me. It's so nice that on ZocDoc, I don't have to call an office. If you're like, Kendahl, am I hearing this all correctly? This sounds too good to be true. Yes, it's true. And it is too good to be true, but it still is true. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition under the sun, okay? Any condition you're searching for, ZocDoc will have a doctor that treats it. Go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC. ZocDoc.com/BCC.
Let's talk about queerness in films in the 30s and 60s.
What if people found out we were queerbaiting? It would be so funny if we were just like,
This is a long con.
this is a long con to get money. Okay, filmmakers in the 1930s, 1960s were only able to imply queerness in films. This feels less like queerbaiting and more like they were really trying to get representation in there without being like fully shut down.
Yeah, you don't want to commit a crime. So that's not even queer baiting. That's like queer.
That's clear.
Suggesting. I don't know.
Because it was common in the early films to depict homosexuality. This changed when the Hays Code was enacted. As a result of the Hays Code, it became de facto illegal to portray queerness on film. It prohibited the depictions of sex perversion alongside obscene dancing, the use of liquor, and white slavery.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Christ. It was introduced in the 1930s and governed the industry until 1968 when it was replaced by the MPAA film rating system. Despite the Hays Code, filmmakers found ways to sneak allusions to queerness into film anyway. The trick with getting past the Hays Code lay in assigning traits to characters that were culturally understood to be associated with the LGBT people while leaving them vague enough that the filmmakers would technically say they had conformed to the standards of the code. Sure.
Like back in the day, they just gave someone a lisp.
You're right. Oh my God. Or like, so, that's what I was trying to think of, like, what it would be like a fully straight businessman, but he was like wearing a boa.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is gay. They're like, no, no, it's not.
They like pan down on a woman, she's wearing chacos, and then they go back up and don't mention it.
Yeah, exactly. What's the origins of the term queerbaiting?
So Tumblr. It was popular. Seriously,
that actually is what it was. Sorry.
It was popularized in critiques of shows like Supernatural, Sherlock, and The 100. And showrunners for these series were accused of inserting just enough homoerotic subtext to drive fans wild with speculation, while never actualizing those relationships.
Okay, I haven't seen any of these shows. Are we sure? Because with Sherlock, for example. Did you watch Sherlock?
No, but Supernatural and Sherlock are part of a huge Tumblr fandom, so we're about to get an answer on your question immediately. What is it?
No, I just sometimes, well, I probably will have this answered.
Yeah.
But I just sometimes think people will be like, it's queer baiting, and it's two characters that I'm like, you wishing, like if you writing fan fiction about two characters having sex and wishing they were having sex, doesn't mean that necessarily was happening in the show.
Yeah, I think there's like, I know that there's probably distinctions. Like if I scroll down and read further, they'd probably give examples.
I'm not going to let you. Yes. I'm going to make you answer before you. I'm just kidding.
No, but yeah, I mean, if you just write fan fiction about anyone being gay, then that's not queer baiting. That's just you being gay and horny.
Well, I just think because sometimes, and this isn't about being queer, but you know I'm a freak for Harry Potter fan fiction.
I didn't.
I've told you this so many times.
I thought, okay, sorry, I'm going to say something. I thought you just read that because your father passed.
No, well, I know. My dad died, and then I was depressed.
Yeah.
And then because in my day-to-day life, I'm working and, like, being productive. I'm not laying on my bed reading fan fiction.
It's okay if you are.
Totally, but I don't usually. I usually save that for the evening.
Wait, was I wrong? Did you not get into that after that?
No, I did.
Okay,
I did. But so then my dad died, so I got very depressed.
Yes.
So I was kind of just like laying around my house all day, not doing as much work as I should have been doing. So therefore, I was reading a bit more than I usually do.
Okay.
Now, I don't support J.K. Rowling.
No.
But she didn't write these fan fictions.
No.
And but anyways, so I'm reading these. It's always Ron and Hermione. I've told you this. I've definitely told you
I
this.
haven't heard the Ron and Hermione part.
I told you this.
No, you didn't go into it.
I got really into Ron and Hermione fanfiction. I just think okay. It's because the two men I'd ever have sex with is Channing Tatum
Yes.
and Rupert Grint.
Really?
Rupert Grint, literally, I'm in love with. I have like a huge crush on him. But there's all these, to get back to this, there's all these people who are like, Hermione and Harry like really should have been together. And I'm like, these are not real people. Like, no, you made that up.
The real take is Hermione should have been the main character.
Well, I
agree. She is smart and competent. And she, like, did you see the third movie?
Did I see the third movie? Yeah, I did.
Okay, so yeah, keep going. So Hermione and Harry should have hooked up, but
people think that, well, or they'll say things. This is getting just wild. But I'll see things about the show Friends. Did you ever watch Friends?
No.
That's good. But people will be like, Ross is a narcissistic abuser.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, Ross is a character on a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, he's a comedy character. Like, these are all like sketch.
Yeah.
Like sitcom characters. So they all have to be like given a thing.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if you're dating someone, like if you dated any of these people in real life that only had like one personality trait that they like pushed in every conversation you had, it would be crazy. So it's like Ross moved really quickly and had like anger issues.
Yeah.
But it's like because he's a character.
Yeah. Isn't that called like flandering or something?
I don't know.
You know Ned Flanders from The Simpsons?
Mm-hmm.
He originally wasn't like some super Christian. He was just like a cheerful neighbor.
Yeah.
And then they leaned into him being a Christian so hard that became his like one defining
trait.
Yeah. So
Yes.
like that's what happens to like a lot of characters. Like Britta from Community didn't originally start off as like just annoying as fuck. They leaned so hard into her like her activism that they made her like a caricature of that.
Yes, 100%. So I just always think that's funny. Where sometimes I'm like, no, it's just a character on a TV show. I actually don't remember how I got there from where we're at, so I'll get back to the topic. But Raina
Dearwater, entertainment research and analysis manager for the GLAAD Media Institute, says that queerbaiting was especially popular during the early to mid 2010s, a time during which the general public considered queer representation in media to be taboo. Yeah, all we had was that gay kid from Glee.
Kurt.
Yeah, Cobain.
But then like every character on Glee became gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're in show choir.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, they're in
but
Glee
even the
Club.
football players, that's show choir, same thing.
Is it Hannah? Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Hannah, you're famously in a show choir. It is the same thing.
I knew it. You have that vibe. Sorry. We were in theater. We're no better than anyone.
Honestly, I feel like theater is just people who wish they could be in show choir but can't sing. Well, they all just speak for myself. I'm really bad at singing. Yeah, like we had Glee, but even like Disney didn't have any gay characters, but they would have like in Lemonade Mouth. Did you ever see that?
Oh,
movie?
yeah.
Like Haley Kiyoko. Oh, no. Well, Haley Kiyoko played a lesbian on pretty much everything she was on Disney.
Yeah.
But then in Wizards of Waverly Place, she came on and initially the I think they wanted her to have a thing with Selena Gomez. Yeah. And then it just was like, they were like, absolutely not. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But then Haley Kiyoko was just still on the show, dressed like a full lesbian, like had a pixie cut with like, not even a pixie cut. It was like buzzed sides.
Yeah.
Was like fully goth and was like like her character was just flirting with Selena Gomez's character, but they were just like stuck with that now and couldn't make them a couple. That's very funny to me. But so they could do things like that, but nothing else.
Yeah, I think it's okay. No, actually, I'm going to take that back. So how is the term queerbaiting evolved?
So it's evolved. Many people now use queerbaiting to describe the actions of an actual person who doesn't openly identify with the LGBTQ community, but displays queer tendencies through the way they dress, their body language, or their reluctance to answer questions about their sexuality or to give themselves a label. And I think, because I think we had talked about this before, where you were like, a real person can't, like, you can't queerbait if you're a real person.
Yeah.
But I think where it gets kind of a gray area is when you're a person that, like, is obviously you're
brand.
a person, but you're a brand. Like, everything, like when Taylor Swift came out with You Need to Calm Down, it's like that's a money making, like she's making so much money off of that.
Yeah.
And like her company is making so much money off of that.
Yeah.
So it becomes kind of this like hard thing where I don't think like one of my like random friends who's like a teacher can be like queer baiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you could just be like figuring out your sexuality.
If they
it's like,
teach an English class, that's
man.
so screwed.
that is actually true.
Yeah.
Wow. I do feel like all my English teachers were kind of queer baiting.
If they're a woman who teaches gym or English, they can queer bait. So.
Because it always did feel like both my English teachers in high school, it was like, well, if you're not gay, what is this?
Yeah.
Who's this for then?
Uh-huh.
Is it for me? Is what I assumed in high school, but looking back, I assume not. Yeah, so I think it just gets iffy where it's like now, if you're making money off of the queer community, then it can become queer baity, in my opinion.
No, yeah, there's a fine line, guys. That's a joke. Okay, but there's a...
What does that mean?
Never mind. There's a fine line between like queer baiting and then forcing someone to come out, like Kit Connor, who's the actor from the gay show that I did watch.
L Word?
No, it's Boys.
I didn't watch it.
Hannah. Heartstopper. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, Kit Connor.
I didn't watch that.
Well, I'd actually know. It's like a slow burn for young gay men. That's why I didn't like it.
Oh, I love a slow burn. That's why I love the iCarly reboot. I actually do.
Isn't she pregnant?
No. The actor? Miranda Cosgrove?
No, in the show.
No, she's not pregnant.
Who am I thinking about?
Well, there's an episode where they like pretend she's pregnant. I didn't watch that one. I didn't watch that episode. But I know there's an episode where she like pretends to be pregnant and then she's not.
Yeah.
Or like they think she's pregnant and she's not. I don't really know.
Pregnant baiting.
But no, she's pregnant baiting. I just like a slow burn. But I don't like, not in a homophobic way. I just don't want to watch gay men do anything.
Mine is very much homophobic way. No, I'm kidding. But no, so Kit Connor is the actor in Heartstopper, and he plays a gay character, and I guess he wasn't out. And so like everyone was like, you can't play a gay character unless you're gay. And then he was like, I'm bi. Are you guys happy? You know?
Right.
So there's a difference
That's
between...
a bummer.
Yeah, it's just like a...
Did he say he didn't want to come out?
Yeah, he felt like he was forced out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard. But, I mean, at least he got a big role in a TV show.
Good for you. So queer baiting is like...
But if in every interview he was like flirting with his co-star.
Yeah.
And like
making a dick-sucking
jokes.
motion.
Like, pretending.
Wait, stop. If he's underage, if he is of age.
19. That still feels
Keep it
too
in.
young, honestly, though. No. Okay. Yeah, 19 years old. No, I was honestly, every time I look up the age of someone who plays a high schooler on he's in high school, I haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
They're always like 35 years old.
Yeah.
It's very wild to me. Yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, if he'd been like doing a bunch of like, I don't know, like taking photos with a pride flag. I know this sounds crazy, but there are people who do this and then like won't answer questions about being gay. Then it feels like, okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The distinction to be made is that like they allude to being gay so that when they sell products, gay people be like, oh, I'm supporting one of my own. And then they're not actually gay or they haven't answered. Or they're like dancing around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
We are going to talk about some queerbaiting accusations on different shows. I have not watched Rizzoli and Isles. So have you?
No.
Do you want to just go down to Supernatural?
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, though.
Or Sherlock?
No.
Well, actually, we're going to...
Is the iCarly reboot on here?
There's Killing Eve, too.
I watched Killing Eve.
Let's do Killing Eve.
I watched the first couple episodes of Killing Eve, and then I saw a spoiler online, and then I stopped watching it because I was like, I don't want to watch this. Actually, usually I like spoilers, but the spoiler made me be like, I don't want to watch this at all. This looks like I don't want to watch. Did you watch it?
No, sorry, my nose ring just shifted really weird in my nose. Keep going.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just so it's a chain, but then it's like a smooth bar inside, and the chain went kind of inside the skin.
Yeah. Oh.
So it just felt stretched for a second.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm
Is it
fine.
fine?
I'm
Okay.
like gauging my nose. Keep going.
Killing Eve was thought it was interesting because they do have like a relationship on the show.
They do?
It's like I didn't get to that part, but I know that. Like I know they like make out a lot.
Oh, I'm reading this now. Killing Eve follows Sandra Oh.
Yeah.
Sandra Oh can queerbait all she wants. What? Okay, so like here's the thing. I feel like this is not in the research, but I feel like if the actor is gay enough looking, you know?
It's so funny to say this is not in the research, because if that sentence was in the research, that would be so funny.
I would literally give me a raise. She makes a list of actors.
Listen, now if they look kind of gay, this is not on the internet, but this is not factual, but if they look kind of gay, but they're not, and it's Sandra Oh, then it's fine, in my opinion.
It's like Natasha Lyonne. Because you could, I think everyone is always devastated when that comes up.
Yeah, it's really, she was like my gay awakening. I was like obsessed with Tasha Lyonne. I know that's not like cool, like everybody has that, but
yeah.
Also what's nice though is she's actually done so much for like, she like actually does stuff for the gay community, which feels nice.
Yeah.
Because some people just don't do anything.
Well, I think it's the guilt of the fact that she's not actually gay.
And she does specifically, but honestly, she feels similar to Sandra Oh, where it's like, I watched Sandra Oh in Grey's Anatomy, and anytime she had a relationship with a man, I was kind of like, this seems fake. Yeah. This feels like when Neil Patrick Harris dated Robin on How I Met Your Mother.
Well, actually, Neil Patrick Harris is probably the only like gay dude who I believe could be straight. You know what I mean?
Really? Like, well, when he was hired, he wasn't out yet.
Yeah, I think like the Sheldon Cooper types cannot, like, that's the type of actor who's like gay, but it's not convincing, like straight.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris, is so he passes as straight.
Wow. Mm-hmm. But that's wild because he not only did he play straight on that show, but he did like 900 musical numbers.
Yeah.
Where he would like heel click in the air, and we were like, this checks out.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, we've hardly watched any of these shows. You never saw Sherlock?
No. I know that all the gay kids who follow us are gonna be like ripping their hair out.
This is devastating. We could talk about shows. Is there any shows you feel like queer baited you?
Well, I mean, let's just like Killing Eve. So it apparently follows Eve, a British intelligence investigator tasked with capturing psychopathic assassin Villanelle.
Yes, this is what is hard about this for me. I don't think this show. Okay. This is coming from someone who's watched 5 episodes. So anyone who's seen this whole show was probably going to be like, you're wrong, Kendahl. Why are you speaking about this? Mm-hmm. And that's valid. But Villanelle is a sociopath on the show. That's like her thing. She's like literally has no emotion and can kill anyone and like does not care.
She's actually a psychopath then.
A psychopath, sorry.
Yeah.
She's a psychopath. And that's like her thing. Like the show is about that. And she has this weird like homoerotic obsession with Eve. I think because Eve is the only one who like almost killed her and like caught her. I don't know. But once again, only 5 episodes in. But to me, this show is not. It would be wild for them to have like a relationship on the show. Yeah. Because Villanelle is a psychopath.
Yeah.
And I know they end up like joining forces. Maybe I haven't seen it. But to me, the show is not about a gay romance. It is about like what are they called? Agents? CIA agents? What are they?
Yes.
CIA agents who are like trying to kill one another and then have like sex is what it feels like.
Yeah. Do they have sex?
I'm pretty sure they do. I haven't gotten there, but I'm like, I know they like make out.
Yeah.
Because I watched a compilation on YouTube.
It says, dude, same. It says the finale of season 1 ended with Eve telling Villanelle, everyone's going to roast me for this, but she thinks about her all the time, to which Villanelle replied, I mean, I masturbate about you a lot.
Yeah, like it's like very sexual, which like they do have like sexual moments. So I'm like, it doesn't feel like queer baiting. It just feels like there would be no way for the two of them to have a relationship because Villanelle is nuts. And like has no capacity for human emotion.
Yeah.
But is like weirdly obsessed with having sex with Eve.
Well, I mean, so a lot of people with psychopathic tendencies, or they are psychopaths or sociopaths, have a very low heart rate, so they don't experience anxiety. So they probably feel like they want to have sex with Sandra Oh for normal reasons, but also because they are their enemy, so it would spike their anxiety and register as like a human emotion. Yeah. So it'd actually be kind of grounding to have sex with your arch nemesis if you have a low heart rate,
Exactly. But so I'm like, it would just be weird. Like, if there was an episode where Villanelle was like, surprise Sandra Oh with like a fort they made in their living room with a bunch of fairy lights and was like, I love you. I'd be like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't make sense. So, I mean, if they're just having sex, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So to me, but once again, I haven't hardly watched any of it, but that's what I get from it. What?
Have you ever hooked up with a manager?
With a manager?
Yeah.
Of like my boss, kind of?
I know that they're not working together, but I'm saying, do you feel that like sometimes you just get attracted
like a coworker.
Oh.
That was higher up than me.
Oh, so
but they didn't have like control over whether or not got fired or not.
Oh, okay.
No, I've never hooked up with a boss.
Well, sometimes you just hook up with people because of proximity.
Yeah.
They probably work against each other together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like that happened a lot during COVID because you'd like
a lot of sex with neighbors.
No. But like not during like but like I mean near the end of 2020. It was like if you wanted to go on a date, you'd be like, "Okay, great. We're going to go on a date in a month." Like you'd meet someone on the apps.
Yeah.
We're going to Zoom date and then we're going to go on a date in a month and I'm going to quarantine for the 2 weeks before and then I'll quarantine the 2 weeks after.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes you'd go on a date and if it was just like fine, you'd be like, "Well, we've already done so much. So let's just at least have sex. Let's do something because I put so much work into this first date."
Oh yeah.
There are some examples of celebrities who are queerbaiting. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I've never heard this one. Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande was accused of queerbaiting in her music video for "Break Up with Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored."
Now we know it as the fact that she's just a homewrecker. Yeah. She tried to spin it as if like break up with your boyfriend because I want you. I remember those interviews and I was like,
she did try to spin it like that?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She was just like break up with your because she wanted to date the girlfriend. And I was like, you wouldn't phrase it like that. It'd be break up with your boyfriend. Jeez.
Yeah, that's interesting. So at the beginning of the video, the girlfriend character appears wearing an oversized black sweatshirt, over the knee boots, and a high ponytail with a barrette.
So she wants to fuck herself?
The twist ending sees Grande turning away from the boy and leaning in to kiss the girl. Okay, so this isn't the video. I've never watched the music video.
Uh-huh.
Some fans have accused Grande of queerbaiting. Wow, this whole episode is just showing how little pop culture I consume. I'm like, I haven't seen any of these shows or any of these videos. Some fans accuse Grande of queerbaiting and used bisexuality for shock value because she's only had public relationships with men. Others have interpreted the girlfriend character as a representation of Grande herself and believe the video is an illustration of self-love.
I mean, if she's not bi, then it's queerbaiting because it's selling a product. But I mean, I'm not going to speculate on her. Oh my God. The only show that absolutely pissed me off was Euphoria.
I never saw
Kendahl, I swear to God. Hannah? No, sorry. But like they had two two lesbians, I think. And then they had like a boy get in between them. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Ew.
Okay, so Grande also faced queerbaiting accusations when she collaborated with her friend Victoria Monet for the song Monopoly. The song features Grande singing line, "I like women and men." So, I mean, that's if Ariana Grande is singing "I like women and men," she's not queerbaiting. She's like, I am bisexual, dude.
It's like the song title is "My name is Ariana Grande and I'm bisexual. This is my coming out." And people are like, "You are queerbaiting."
The song title, "I am a girl and I eat pussy."
And I eat pussy. There's also Billie Eilish.
Wait, and there's also Monet, who's obviously openly bisexual, also raps those lyrics. And then following the release of Monopoly, Grande herself addressed public calls demanding she label her sexual identity. And she says, "I haven't before and still don't feel the need to now." She said, okay, then she doesn't need to label it. If she said explicitly, "I like women," then this is a moot point.
But then that's what I mean, where it's like, because you would say, if you say that in a song, that'd be you coming out. But then if you're then like, I don't need to talk about this. As if I've like come up, I've like banged on your door and been like, "Are you gay?"
Yeah.
But like, no, you put it in a song and now you're going on like a tour for the song.
Yeah, people just need to hear her say the word.
Yeah.
Which is like, you just get over it.
I just don't know. I've said this before, but I don't understand why people care. Like, I'm like, if Ariana Grande is bisexual, I'm like, I just don't care. Like, and that's like with Taylor Swift, it's like, we've talked about that, but I'm like, she's only ever publicly dated men. If she's bisexual, I just don't really care. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that just like doesn't excite me. I don't think she's gonna date me, and I also don't think like she also like has a boy. I just like don't understand the interest.
I think the angle that everyone just consistently, like this is just standard, are like worried that if you're pretending to be gay and then you sell products, people are gonna be...
No, I get that, but I just mean when people are like, like gaylers. I'm talking about like people
Yeah.
who like really think she's gay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, well, first of all, she's not gay because unless she's like literally hiding so deep down in like
We're
pretending
doing
to be
the
straight.
literal interpretation of gay. She could be like bi.
Well, that's what I mean. But if people are like, she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, no, because
Yeah.
she's literally currently dating a man.
Yeah.
But also like if she's bi, she's still dating that man. And that's great. I just mean like, I understand why queer baiting is frustrating. But in terms of people who are like, I just like literally every day I'm trying to find signs that she's bi. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't know. I just like don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean. It's like when someone's like, you ever wonder what happens after you die? And you're like, no. But then they just like push it. Every time they get drunk or high, they're like, dude, what happens when we die? I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, we're going to be dead.
I know.
That's how I feel about people speculating on Taylor Swift's sexuality.
I know.
It's so important to a lot, but I don't think about it.
Yeah, that's like on Yellow Jackets. I love to talk about Yellow Jackets.
No, you're good.
I did watch that. On Yellow Jackets, there's a part where he goes to like, he doesn't want to be there anymore. One of the guys.
I thought it was all lesbians.
No, there's two guys, which my opinion could have been cut from the show. But
Is this a women's soccer team?
oh yeah, but there's like the coach and his two sons, I think.
Oh.
Or maybe they're like assistant coach. I don't really understand. But
Yeah.
there's two guys there. But he like goes and he is gonna die. And the girl's like, don't do it. If you do it, we're gonna eat you. And he goes, I don't care. I'm like, yeah, why would you care? Like, I don't have any feelings after I die. What happens to me like that? Like, I'm always just like, I want to be donated to science.
I would understand if it's like a religious reason.
Totally. But like, I don't, yeah.
I
right.
don't think that there's a lot of
No.
Rastafarianism in Yellow Jackets.
And that's where you're wrong.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
No, there's none. Anyways, Billie Eilish. June 2021.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish was accused of queerbaiting in her Lost Cause music video. The video shows Eilish at a slumber party with a group of girls dancing, eating whipped cream, playing Twister, and rolling around on top of each other. I don't think that's queerbaiting.
That's harmless fun.
It's harmless. Yeah, that's great. A few days later, Eilish posted a series of behind-the-scenes photos from the music video. She wrote, "I love girls" in the caption. All right. Fans quickly wondered if Billie had come out as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, though she was most recently dating actor Matthew Vorse at the time. One commenter wrote, "Acting sexual with girls to draw in more audiences is gross." Another said, "Bye, I literally cannot. It's like, if she's coming out, good for her, but if she claims to be straight after this, bestie, it's queerbaiting, sorry."
I think since we live in such like a binary culture, like everything is either yes or no or evil or good.
Yeah.
The people truly can't fathom the concept of bisexuals.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're either gay or you're a lesbian.
Yeah.
There's like no way that
Yeah.
people are bi.
Yeah.
And I think that's like just like the sentence. Fans quickly wondered if Billie had come out as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, though she most recently seen dating actor Matthew Vorse at the time. That last sentence wasn't needed. There's actually like several symbols.
Yes.
There's several like numbers in the actual LGBTQ that could be a woman dating a dude. You know,
100%. I just feel like when I also feel bad sometimes because how old is Billie Eilish? Isn't she like?
She's like 21 now.
Oh, okay.
22, 21. But at the time, I know that.
She's like pretty young. I'm always just
Yeah.
like, man, she's figuring it out.
Yeah,
You know
she's
what I
also
mean?
homeschooled. If she thinks it's totally normal to like, for two girls to be naked and cover each other in whipped cream during
She's
a
probably
slumber
never been
party.
to a slumber party.
Yeah.
She just saw like porn and was like, okay, I guess
Yeah.
this is what it is. We talked about Kit Connors a little bit. Do you want to talk more?
Yeah. So Kit Connor, I feel bad for because he was forced out of the closet. Well, I feel bad for anyone who gets harassed, but yeah. So where he plays Nick Nelson in Heartstopper. He had been accused of benefiting from his portrayal of Nick, a queer teen, as it led to his fame and a steadfast fandom. Some question whether he had a genuine connection to the queer community. And shortly after the series premiered in April, Connor avoided using labels to describe his sexuality after fans debated possibilities. He condemned attempts to stereotype him and his castmates based on voice and appearance, which he called a problematic assumption. Yeah, they were like, "Where's your lisp, dude?"
Wait, really?
Oh no, but that's the
It's like, oh my
it's
God.
a gay thing that you assume.
Yeah.
Why don't lesbians have lisps? Why don't we?
No.
Is it,
I do actually. I told you about the time I went to that poetry. I was in a poetry competition.
You're just dyslexic. You don't have a lisp, do you?
I don't think I do, but I went to this. I got to the finals of the poetry competition in high school.
Yeah.
And I was paired up with this older man was gonna coach me, and like for an hour before the poetry competition. I don't know. I pulled out a class for it, and as I was leaving, he was like, "I wish we had time to work on your lisp, but we really don't." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Your lisp. You have a pretty bad lisp."
You don't have a bad lisp.
I know. I don't think I do either, but.
You don't even have a lisp. Sorry,
I don't have. You don't have a very bad lisp. I don't think I do, but I've always thought about that. I'm like, maybe I do a little bit, but I don't think I do.
I always sound congested because I smoke.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So he condemned attempts to stereotype him. When Connor refused to publicly declare sexuality, fans accused him of being purposefully vague as a way to queerbait. I think what's also, as a public figure who's come out, when you stamp a term, like it would be much more comfortable like 4 or 5 years ago telling people sometimes I hook up with women than I'm a lesbian or I'm bi, because people do in the public hold you to something.
Yeah.
So like, especially since he's a teenager, if he's like still questioning and you make him label it, people will like hold to that. And if he changes any like type, like any way in the future, it's going to be.
Well, because I think there's such a like, you know, like. I don't know. There's such an unfortunate, like, I think there's like a lot of people, like I knew pretty young I was a lesbian.
Yeah.
And I feel like really fortunate for that.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes I think the whole like born this way thing is it was born out of like a positive thing of like, you're not like, you don't decide to be gay. Like obviously that's like what it is supposed to be. Yeah. But I also think sometimes it does put this pressure on people to be like, you should have known since you're like 4. Like you should have like, it should be so black and white clear since you were a child what was going on with you. And I also think it doesn't allow for like growth or change or like, I mean, even for me, like when I came out as a lesbian, but then like the more I like changed my view on gender and like looked at like how like, do I even feel like gender is a thing and like all of that, then it like changed the way I viewed dating as well. Because I was like, well, I don't know if I feel, how can I be like, I don't know. It just like changes the way you think about things. So for me, I was like, well, if I start feeling like nobody, like gender is all silly, and then like, but I only date, you know what I mean? It just makes everything a little bit more complicated. So I think it's like, as you get older, you learn new things, like your sexuality could change or your whatever could change. That doesn't mean you were lying before or you didn't feel valid before. But I think sometimes it is scary at 18. He's 18 years old to like say, I'm this. And then everyone, if he later is like, I'm not that. Yeah. People will be like, well.
Yeah. I mean, any 18-year-old right now, if you were like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Most of them are going to be like, well, you know, so what you would, like, why not apply the same thing to like sexuality and gender?
Exactly.
I mean, some people are like born and they're like, I want to be a bicyclist. What? Sorry. I want to own a bicycle as my job. No, like, I want to be like a doctor.
Yeah.
And they know that as a kid.
You say bisexual and you said bicyclist.
I was thinking of Lance Armstrong and I was like a cyclist.
You're always thinking about him. No,
because I live strong.
Right. I know. Well, but I think there are people who, it's like, born. I mean, you hear these stories, it's like, this doesn't make their story less valid. It's great and it's awesome. Yeah. But like people who will be like, since I was born have felt like the wrong gender. Like I was 2 and I was the wrong gender. And I felt that. So I think then some people who are like, I didn't feel like that necessarily, but now I'm 30 and feel the wrong. You know what I mean? It can make it a little more confusing where you're like, am I wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes it's good to just let people change. Not, I don't think it's changing their mind, actually. I think it's just like continuing to explore themselves.
Yeah, like, I mean, just like, thankfully, I mean, you like realize you're a lesbian like pretty early on, but like it's so easy to be confused if you are a lesbian. Like even for straight girls, like at the end of the day, they're like, oh yeah, I'm straight. But like if you think about how society talks about having sex with dudes, you're not supposed to enjoy it. You're not supposed to come. You're like actually supposed to. It's normal to be like actively disgusted when when it's happening.
When there's like a trope of like, my wife never wants to have sex with me. So if you like literally never want to have sex with your husband, you're like, this is normal. This is how marriage is supposed to be.
Yeah, like straight women are like, oh no, yeah, that's pretty par for the course. So like lesbians are gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm disgusted here.
Yeah, exactly. I also think there's like I've heard some people be like, I didn't know I was a lesbian for a long time because I'd hear other lesbians talk about having sex with men.
Yeah.
And they would be like, I could never have sex with a man. That is literally the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And they're like, it wasn't like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'd had sex with men. It was fine. It was like not compared to having sex with a woman, but it was like not like I was like, I'm going to throw up. So then they were like, maybe I'm not a lesbian. I think there's just some people who are so like, I'm gay. I've been gay since I was born. And the thought of a man is disgusting. And it can be confusing for other people. I don't know.
Isn't that a part of like purity culture? Like the whole gold star lesbian? Because you're saying, like, it's like if I've never had sex with a dude and I'm better, I'm the gold star.
Right.
That means there's something dirty about being penetrated by a man, which just perpetuates the whole like, you got to be a virgin when you're married and that sort of shit. Mm-hmm. So it's a whole fucked up system.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good system. And we're here to change it.
But no, you, keep going. I'm sorry.
Cardi B. That's what I want to say.
Cardi B is bisexual. She said it like a million times.
Okay, so next. Okay, Harry Styles. I don't know enough about, I'm like so not up to date on Harry Styles, but I am like,
He wears sequins and low-cut shirts.
but he was gay. I was going to say so did
Elton John.
but then that is not queerbaiting. I just think, but I'm like, dress however you want. I think it's more just this like,
like
really
it's,
wanting it to feel gay when it's like, why is this? It feels like people treat going to a Harry Styles concert like they're going to a queer event.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you?
You know that thing of like when certain like social, when like, what's it called when you're like super progressive?
A socialist?
What's it? A socialist? No, like when, okay, you know when like feminism and like, you know the difference between women and men philosophically.
Uh-huh.
Women are like at this point where we're like, I want to be like other. There's like third wave feminism, you know, and then men are just like, women are people, you know? Like women are so far ahead that interacting with a man almost feels like you're getting stupider.
Yeah.
So sometimes when it comes to straight versus queer discourse, straight people don't really discuss their sexuality in like depth. Mm-hmm. And so like, but gay people do. So we're so far ahead. So when it comes to Harry Styles, great guy, but like his fans are predominantly straight. So they're having this whole like, is he gay because he's wearing sequins?
Yeah.
Like sort of like actual genuine mental breakdown.
It's actually, if you break it down, deeply offensive.
Yeah, and then every gay person's like, dude, if he's making money off of us, that's fucked. But your clothes don't define your sexuality, you know?
I also maybe have a secret issue with Harry Styles because when I was growing up, I shared a room with my niece. We were the same age.
Yeah.
And she was obsessed with One Direction in a way that was like insane. Like obsessed. Every part of our wall was covered in a One Direction poster. Like not a single part of the wall could you see. It was so insane. She had... Sorry, I had a Diet Coke before this and I'm burping.
That's disgusting. Can we pause? I'm kidding. Please don't act. Sorry.
Like she had those, what were they called? They were like these cardboard things that you could buy and attach to your wall, and it was like Harry Styles'
Posters?
face. No, it was like, they were like a specific thing they advertised. Basically just a cardboard cutout that you could stick to your wall.
Yeah.
I think they were called like Big Heads or something.
Yeah.
And then her comforter was One Direction, like she was obsessed with One Direction, and she had a birthday party one time that was One Direction themed, and I had to take a test to be able to attend it on Harry Styles and all the One Direction members, and it would be things like, what's Harry Styles' favorite movie? What's Harry Styles? And so I actually have a lot of knowledge about him from like 2010.
Yeah.
Like I know his favorite movie. I don't know if it's changed, but it used to be Love Actually.
Oh wow.
Which is my dad's favorite movie. So I see Harry Styles as my dad, and that's why there's a lot there for me.
I understand.
But Bad Bunny.
Okay, so guys, again, these fans are feral, so we don't hate these people. They've been accused of queerbaiting, and you guys should definitely defend them in the comments or make a case for it. But after Bad Bunny kissed a male dancer during his 2022 MTV Video Music Awards performance, many fans speculated about his sexuality. Okay, if his name is Bad Bunny, he's very comfortable in himself. Yeah. Most like men And even if I mean, if he's pretending to be gay too, so that's bad, whatever. But he's a Bad Bunny. It does imply some sort of femininity that he's drawn to,
which is it's a fine line because I think all of that is unrelated to sexuality. You know what I mean? To me, I'm like, you could be
if anything, it says anything about gender.
That's what I mean. Like, you could be fully, like, you could identify as a man.
Yeah.
Wear only women's clothes.
Yeah.
And still be straight. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is the straight people's problem. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
We're rectangle square.
But if you're singing songs that are like insinuating that you're hooking up with a guy, and then you and then you make money off of that, and then you refuse to talk. This is why, okay, for example, Taylor Swift. It's like the song Betty. Remember that came out, and everyone said this is a song talking about her having, and I've listened to the song so many times because I really like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could read it as not
gay. Yeah.
It sounds so gay. I don't, and to me, if it was honestly anyone else, I'd be like, who knows? She's just writing stuff. Taylor Swift is so calculated. Because I used to think her fans, I mean, we did a whole episode about this. I used to think her fans were being too much. I was like, you guys are like reading into everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, she literally she like drops all these weird Easter eggs for things that you'd be like, what even is this Easter egg? Like, I don't understand this. So I just like, when she released that song, she knew what that discussion was going to be.
Yeah.
And that feels very annoying to me. I'm like, you know what that is. You release all these songs that have hints of like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
You need to calm down where you're literally dancing with the cast of Queer Eye in a rainbow outfit. What is happening? Like, what?
Yeah.
You're not, like, you're doing that. Because once again, if it was anyone else, like if it was like Florence and the Machine, I'd be like, she accidentally dressed like in the lesbian
flag. She wore a strap on stage.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
But like Taylor Swift, everything she does is calculated. So why would I assume that those random things she does are not also calculated?
I think, okay, most people don't have to like consider legal and like worldwide optics of like their character or whatever. So Taylor Swift is very calculated, and most normal people would be like, if we're writing songs called Betty and playing them at a bar, just come out already. But my idea for why Taylor has not come out is it still stands, is that Karlie Kloss would then be outed if Taylor came out and confirmed that she was gay or something like that. And Karlie Kloss is associated with an incredibly conservative family. And so, I mean, think about your gay relationships. Even if your friendship is over, so Karlie Kloss, Taylor used to be friends, and if you're a lesbian, you get this. Even if the relationship is over and so much has they've fucked with you, it's different. You don't want to out them still,
but
you know?
Would that be out? I just think if she was like, I'm bi, I didn't date Karlie Kloss, that would be so much
That's like
better.
saying, like...
Because now everyone assumes she dated Karlie Kloss.
Have you seen that one T-shirt that's like, I don't murder and eat children? Like, it's like the fact that you have that shirt on suggests that you are probably murdering and eating children. So if you came out and said, I'm bi and I didn't date Karlie Kloss.
But then why did she... Okay, but then why did she dress up like Karlie Kloss, sing a song, and then have Karlie Kloss sit in her... audience.
That is the closest. So she's also a brand. That is the closest her brand can get to being gay without crossing any legal.
But to me, if Karlie Kloss, but if Karlie Kloss is so concerned about being outed, why would any of that be happening? Why wouldn't they just be like, let's not talk about her?
Because you physically cannot not talk about Karlie Kloss because everyone else is talking about it.
But I didn't even know. But like, maybe the Swifties. But I did not know anything about that until Taylor was doing that stuff. So to me, that's her being like, I was. And it's like, well, you didn't have to say any of that.
Well, I know.
And why would Karlie Kloss be going to these things also making do you know what I mean? It would be so easy to just be like, yeah, we used to be friends, period. Don't do a whole thing about our relationship at our show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Taylor Swift fans are notoriously respectful of her privacy. No, but I'm saying like, dude, I'm saying Taylor, you're making me defend, but I'm also a fan. It's hard.
But I'm a Taylor Swift fan too.
But I'm just
like, you didn't have to say any of this. So just stop. If it was all about protecting Karlie Kloss, why would any of those things have happened?
Because she can't just because then you're cutting out like a lot of your authenticity. Just like avoid anything that could suggest that you have, like, I mean, if she is bi and she wants to express herself and she can't outwardly say it, she should be able to do the bi things.
Totally. But if her ex-partner or ex-whoever was like, I don't want people to know about that, to me,
But that's not like reasonable. You know what I mean?
To say I'm not out. I don't want you to talk about us having a relationship.
No, but that's not reasonable because like then they would never get to come out.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Why though? Why can't they just say I'm bisexual? I also never dated Carly Kloss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Kendahl, I think we're both literal people, and this makes complete sense to us. I think most fans are like sheep and not ADHD literal people.
No, but I think we might just disagree because do you think she's bisexual?
Yes.
Because and you said you think the only reason she hasn't come out is because of the Carly Kloss thing.
Yes, I think if she says like I'm bi, and then the millions of fans would immediately go to Carly Kloss, and that would create like a weird thing. And so they may have ended and they may not be friends, but like Taylor seems like a caring person that she wouldn't even want to put that level of stress on her. Like, so, but she still wants to live her life authentically.
Totally. That makes sense to me. I'm just I feel like they still do some PR stunts that involve Carly Kloss. Right?
No.
She like came to the concert.
She wasn't allowed with even the celebrities. She had to get like a general admission ticket.
But why? Okay, but you don't think that's a PR stunt? Why would she not be in the celebrity box?
I don't think it's a PR stunt. I think that's embarrassing on her part. Celebrities are private individuals, but they're also brands. Taylor Swift is a brand herself.
Sure.
So in a piece for the New York Times journalist Mark Harris writes, as self-serving as some celebrity caginess can't be. You can't build a world in which everyone feels free to self-identify by ordering everyone to self-identify. In our desire to create a utopia in which nobody's faves are problematic, it's easy to forget that sexuality can be messy and uncertain and overwhelming, and that keeping that journey private is, no matter how frustrating, a right that's worth defending. That is true. Like, I think I'm thinking gayness in the same realm as mental illness. My mom has been dying to hear me say that. No, but you know how like someone it's like forcing a celebrity like to say their mental illness.
Yes.
And so like they experience maybe some visible bouts of like mania.
Yeah.
And so people are speculating, are you like bipolar or like something else? And they're like, that's not up to you. I mean, if they were selling me lithium, I'd be like, you better fucking be bipolar. But yeah.
So the idea of queerbaiting suggests that sexual... Oh, you already read that,
yeah,
didn't you?
Accusing someone.
So are we at the queerbaiting accusations?
Like, accusing someone of queerbaiting may pressure them. Accusing someone of queerbaiting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Accusing someone of queerbaiting may pressure them to come out when they're not yet ready or still coming to terms with their sexuality or gender. According to a report by LGBTQ rights organization Stonewall, only about half of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans people feel able to open about their sexual orientation or gender identity to everyone in their family. Forcing someone to come out to a conclusion on their sexuality before they're ready can affect a person's personal safety, both mentally and physically. Questioning someone's sexuality or the way they arrive at their identity is harmful because it erases their experiences and undermines the struggles that person may have gone through or is going through, says Gigi Engel, ACS certified sex educator at dating app 3Fun and author of All the Fucking Mistakes, A Guide to Sex, Love, and Life.
Yeah, I would say that you just probably shouldn't speculate on anyone under 20. And if anything, you're like, they appear to be straight, then you question the writers or something.
Yeah.
Also, happy that the writer's strike is over. Don't give them a hard time. The idea of queerbaiting suggests that sexuality is something that must be visible and clearly defined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself femme?
Femme?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Not at all, honestly. I consider myself, I mean, I don't know. I guess I consider myself fully.
Would you say you're more mask or femme?
I feel more mask.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't think that's always portrayed in the way I dress.
Yeah.
but I definitely I feel more mask.
I feel more femme most of the time. My inside's a very mask.
Yeah.
I love tools.
I don't feel that I dress mask. I don't feel that I dress femme in any way.
Yeah.
I think I feel completely non-binary.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's I don't feel like I have any. Yeah.
I mean, that's androgyny.
Yeah.
Androgyny.
Yeah.
Are we right, gays? Wait, are you both gay?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the middle?
I've heard STEM sometimes is the middle. It's like mask leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'm visually femme just because it's easier. Actually, that's a lie. But just because it's
You like it though. You like, right? You said
I love the makeup
glam.
aspect of it. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
love big hair. I'm from the South, but I also love mounting TVs and building shit. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot about gender with my therapist recently, and she was explaining it to me as kind of a D&D dice. I've never played D&D.
So I was gonna ask Hannah again.
Well, how many? There's 20 sides to a D&D dice, right? 22.
Yes.
There's a lot, but there's a lot of sides. It doesn't matter how many, but there's a lot of sides to a D&D dice, and it's kind of like your gender. Especially when you're kind of in that middle area, can feel like it's one side can be your hair, one side could be your clothes, one side of the dice could be your getting on hormones, one side could be gender affirming surgery, one side can be all of these different things, and you just kind of roll it and see which one feels good to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
So I think for me, I feel like I'm split down the middle, where it's half feels very mask, half feels very femme.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just kind of in a similar vein, the basis behind a lot of intersectionality is that you have weight, age, race, mental status. I mean, because my gender identity does not come from, it comes from the neurodivergent, the autism aspect, which a lot of people are that's out of left field. But if you cannot or have a hard time registering a lot of social cues, then what you're socially prescribed to do will not apply to you. And that's why I feel disconnected from femininity.
Yeah.
So that would be one of the aspects of the die where it's and then, I think a lot of people, since we're white, we probably view a lot of things through black or white because we can really only take on, at most, one other visual marginalized role. Do you know what I mean?
No. Can you explain that a little more? Sorry.
Is this making sense, guys?
Might have just not to me. I might not have understood.
I think explaining, I think for most people, you know what, we're going to cut this out.
Why? You did a good job. I just didn't understand
the
it the first
many-sided
time.
die. I was talking to my friend who just came out as a trans woman, and she's plus size. And she was talking about how she is so new to feminine gender expression, and where she's overwhelmed, similar to the dice thing, is that now she has to shop for clothing for herself to express herself, but then she didn't realize that there's not a lot of options for plus size women.
Yeah.
And
totally.
so that is, there's so many different, do you want to do your hair? Do you have time to do your makeup? And then the pink tax doesn't necessarily even apply to just menstrual products. You makeup and just all this shit. And
getting your hair done. It's getting my hair. I mean, my roommate Charles gets his hair cut and it costs $20. And when I get my hair done, it costs $700.
Yeah, it's the DSM. What's it's the Myers-Briggs of gender expression.
Yeah.
A lot of us are INTJ or ENTJ, whatever. It's just what you checked in the box.
Yeah.
And that's you.
Totally.
We just explained gender to a bunch of gays. So the straight people who are watching this, please let us know if we were helpful.
Anyways.
But some celebrities have come out of as queer after being accused of queerbaiting. We did talk about Kit Connor. I keep want to say Curtis Connor. I love my Vine friends. But okay, so My Chemical Romance's Gerard Way has been accused of queerbaiting despite stating publicly that they always identified a fair amount with the female gender and that they use both he and they pronouns. So people just aren't listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is true. All the ones we've read have just been people have accused this person for queerbaiting. They said in an interview, I'm gay. please stop asking me if I'm not. And we can't really decide what that means.
Yeah, no, I mean, Cardi B has like said a million times. So that's actually kind of funny.
I think it is true what you're saying, where some people truly do not. When people are like, I'm bi, people are like, that means nothing to me. And they're like, I'm bi. And they're like, but are you gay? Like,
yeah.
No, I'm not. Which I think is rough. Anyways, there it is. There you have it. Queerbaiting, I think, it's a tough fine line of we don't, we really cannot know anyone's sexuality, but if someone is selling a bunch of Pride merch and they're not gay, that is problematic.
Yeah.
I also think sometimes it's about the space you need to take up sometimes in a community. Like, even as like a lesbian, it's like I'm lesbian, but I'm a white lesbian. I am a lesbian who grew up with super supportive parents. So I'm not always like, I need to be like on the biggest Pride float at Pride, being like, I have the most to say about, and that doesn't mean my experience is not valid or like important, but I think sometimes it's like, I don't know, just being aware sometimes of like the space I don't know if that's the wrong word to use.
The amount of space you take up.
Yeah, just like the amount of space you need to take up in any, and I think that goes the other way where like, I've heard some people be like, I don't know, I want to explore my sexuality, but like, I like don't want to take up any space. And I'm like, no, you can take up space. Like you can take up some space to like explore, like you deserve that. Like you should be able to always take up space. Like don't be afraid to do that. But I think sometimes it's like, people will be like, just like, there's just like nuance in everything. Everything is like nuanced and confusing. And so it's like, you can be exploring your sexuality, but if you're like, I'm not going to tell you what sexuality I am, but I'm going to be like the poster child for the gay community. It's like, maybe you don't need to yet if you're like figuring, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I think anyone with, anyone who's not viewing everything through the binary can understand what you're saying. Yeah. There's like a middle ground. There's a gray. It's a spectrum. I think, if you think in black and white, then this is actually a very hard thing to understand. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, skinny white femme lesbians have like no representation in media. Is like I understand.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like
exactly 100%. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just complicated, but it's a good conversation to have.
It is, and I think everyone who listens to this is gay, and
it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. You'll be fine.
I'm sorry if I don't want everyone to... Hannah, it's mostly you. I don't want you to be mad at me about my opinions on Taylor Swift. Oh, no. Now I'm getting the silent treatment.
I could literally never be
I'm just kidding. Thank you.
You could be mad at me.
Thank you. We actually have a guest here today.
Do we?
We have an executive on a TV show that recently came out.
Oh, really?
It's on season 2. And it's
called... Yellow Jackets?
It's Yellow Jackets. Really, the way in which I watched Yellow Jackets 2 years after everyone else, and then it became my full personality, and I can't stop thinking about it, and I've rewatched it like 6 times. It's really embarrassing. They're an executive for a show called Gaycation. Have you watched this?
No, but I've heard good things.
Really? It's interesting. They're executive on a show called Gaycation, and they're here, and they're going to talk about it for a minute.
Okay, hell yeah. We'll be right back.
All right, bye.
And we're back with Ted Cranston.
Hello, Sarah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. So can you tell us a little bit about your show that you have?
Yes, I can. We'll have our 2nd season coming out, and it is going to be an absolute gay time. Mm-hmm. It is going to be all LGBT. We're going 2nd season. Have you seen the show? It's called Gaycation.
I have seen clips.
Gaycation. So the premise of the show, I created it myself. And my wife and I actually came up with it together. Uh-huh. It is...
I'm so sorry, and I don't mean to do this. We are queer friendly, but are you a man or a woman?
I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm a man. I'm a straight man.
Of course. Yes.
Do I not look it? Some have said I look like Ellen DeGeneres.
I didn't want to assume. Yes.
Okay, I'm a man. I'm all man, Sarah.
I'm sorry.
Maybe you can't tell with my clothes on, but I'm all man.
It's the skirt that's throwing me off.
So, listen.
Keep going.
The show is called Gaycation. We get 10 straight girls, 10 straight guys. We put them on a beach together, and the challenge is they can only date people of the same gender.
But aren't they all straight?
So right, but that's the challenge. They have to do a gay thing to stay to the end and win $1.3 million.
Okay, interesting. I mean, have any couples come out of the show?
We have had many couples come out of the show, Sarah. We had Janelle from season 2 and Brian from season 2 ended up together.
That's actually really interesting because you just said you're launching season 2. So spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers.
Please edit that out. That's not supposed to be public knowledge. For season 1, we had Carrie. She was just a delight. And Tanner, who they ended up getting together after the show. We've had a lot of couples. They usually, every time have been a man and a woman, straight couple. But during the show, there's a lot of women making out with each other, a lot of men making out with each other for the big cash prize.
So is it like weekly challenges of gay opportunities?
Gay opportunities, to make out, go on dates, kiss, sex. It's a really horny show, Sarah.
So, are you gay? Wait, actually, let me backpedal a bit.
No.
Do you feel like you're using queer audiences for views?
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to get everyone as horny as possible. So, for me, I know I love watching two girls just go to town on each other. So what I'm trying to give to the gay community and also everyone at home, straight or not, is just watching women make out with each other and watching men make out with each other. And maybe too, we'll fall in love. We don't know. We really don't know until the season's over.
So the objective is either is just do gay stuff, or is it to make
do
sure
gay stuff, get horny, have fun, get drunk. Have a good time is kind of the goal. And if you make it to the end, if you can make it 6 months.
Oh my God.
And only make out with someone of the same gender. You can get a lot of money. It's 1.2 million split between 20 people. Taxes taken out.
So everyone's a winner?
If you do it, but the more... So then they try to get people to make out with someone of this opposite sex so that they can get more money at the end of the cash prize.
I think instead of a lump sum, you should probably do challenges like 100,000.
We've already filmed it, Sarah.
Well, season 3. But are you gay?
I said I have a wife, and I'm a man.
Yes.
So no, I'm straight. But I'm always trying to push the boundaries of shows and TV so that I can try to get more LGBT opportunities on the telly.
I understand. So this show was heavily promoted as an LGBTQ dating show, and from what I've heard, it's just a bunch of drunk straight girls making out with each other.
I like that. You like that.
Do I?
A bunch of straight girls making out. You don't like that? Do you not?
I plead the fifth. But keep going.
I thought, what do people want to say? And let's be honest, the gay community is probably one of the richer communities.
Yeah.
They've got money, and I want it.
I say that about the historically disenfranchised a lot.
Exactly. They have the money, I want it. It's a really good opportunity for merchandise, launches, and all of that. So my gift to the LGBT community is to be horny, have fun watching the show. And in order to do that, we had to pull them in. I knew they would like it, but I didn't know if they would know they would like it if I just... So the ads are it's supposed to make you think it's a lot of gay people. But that's not what the show is. But there is a lot of kissing of the same gender.
Yeah.
Which is very fun. People like that.
Yeah. We do.
Yeah.
Do you have any other shows you're working on?
I do, thank you for asking. We have a show. I'm rebooting the L Word again. I'm trying it again. I know they already did a reboot, but I'm doing another one. Everyone in the cast is going to be played by a straight person.
Okay.
And the there's going to be more straight relationships in it. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted there to be more questions. I wanted people to wonder what was going to happen more. So that is kind of going to add a little bit to the suspense of the show.
Yeah. The fact that the actors clearly don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
So. Okay, well, that's...
Are you going to watch? Can I count on your view, Sarah?
What network are you going to be on?
It's a YouTube channel that that I've started.
No.
Okay.
But I can't wait for...
Gaycation Season 2. Horny, drunk, girls and guys.
It's my AA group name. But thank you so much for being on the show, I think. But good luck with everything. I hope you seek a therapist. And please don't tune into that. But thank you guys so much for watching.
A great time.
Well, that was a nightmare.
I'm sorry I missed it.
No, yeah,
I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry. It's whatever. But thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you are better and gayer for it.
I do too. And I appreciate you all for being here. And remember to listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, and rank us. Rate us 5 stars. And just a quick reminder, once again, if you're interested in seeing Sarah and I live, you can come to New York City for the New York Comedy Festival and see us live in November. So go check out the ticket link is below.
Yeah, and make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube, and we will see you guys next here or talk to you Wednesday.
All right. I love you, Taylor.
I think Super Hulock is a great group of people. We're thoroughly scared. Bye, guys.
Bye.